Scotch for Dummies.
No, we do. No, we're the dummies.
Yes, we are. Welcome to Thursday Night Scotch Club. We've got a different and interesting topic to talk to you guys about tonight with our first review of a Gordon and Macphail, and we're going to get into what that means. But first,
15 minutes.
Yeah, we have 15 minutes. So I want to say hi to my guys, man. It's good to be back on Thursday night.
It's always good.
Make
right?
2 weeks in a row now. But let's dive into what this whole Gordon and Macphail thing is. And you'll notice on the bottle it's a Gordon and Macphail, but it's Mortlach. And so what that really means is Gordon and Macphail is an independent bottler, I guess we'll call them. They've been around since 1896-ish, something like that. They've been around a long time, we'll say that. And what they do is they buy the liquid straight from the distillery. But they do more than that. There's a lot of companies that buy the liquid. Right. Some companies will buy a barrel, walk into a distillery, buy the barrel and say, we want that and we're going to put our label on it. And they get away with that. That's fine. What Gordon Macphail's doing is they actually hand pick and select their casks, send them to the distillery for the new make liquid, and then they fill them there, and then they take them to their warehouses, and they babysit them for however long they want to babysit them. And then they're very transparent about where that liquid came from. Like in this instance, this is a Mortlach. It's a Mortlach 15, so it's actually going to taste different than if you went and bought a regular Mortlach 15, because this was, it was
aged in their facility
in their casks,
and
so it's going to be different.
But still somewhat similar, because you're getting the same liquor out of the same stills, produced the same way. So it's going to have characteristics of the original, or the distillery that it's coming from. Sure. But the aging process is going to change how
different buildings, different areas.
So they say that 50% of Scotch flavor comes from the new make, and 50% comes from the casks and aging.
And we're about to find out.
We're going to find out. I mean,
so what you told me earlier too that you said that this is also with Johnny Walker.
Mortlach, not Gordon and Macphail's Mortlach, but regular Mortlach does end up in a Johnny Walker blend.
And Mortlach has been around since 1823. They've been around forever. It's an old
Dufftown, I think.
Yeah. So it's an old distillery.
Do we know the casking or anything like this?
That's a grand question. No, I don't.
Gordon Macphail casked it, but they didn't tell us what
it's 43%. We know it's 15-year. Obviously, Spey.
Price?
$80.
And the receipts in the bottle. Yeah, so $80.
The nice thing about Gordon and Macphail is a lot of times you can pick up an older bottle from a distillery for less expensive price than you would from...
Yeah, so we were at the Scotch show where we got this. And Mortlach had what they called their rare old.
Which is a non-age.
Which is a non-age statement.
Right.
And it was like $30 more than this.
Right.
So we went with this.
We've been wanting to tackle this topic for a while. There's a ton of Mortlachs. Gordon Macphail's out there, so we want to get into those, but we want to talk to you guys about it and kind of try to.
It's got a nice cool
to start the topic anyway. Nice. So back to Gordon Macphail. They actually dabble in about 500 different liquors. But they've got a certain collection that they are really most proud of, and it centers around single malts. I think they call it the Connoisseurs Collection, and it's mostly single malts, and some of them are over 30 years old. So there's got to be some good ones out there.
They've got some really old Scotch that they're sitting on.
Have you guys tasted this?
Yeah, I can tell you right now, this is a really cool taste or smell to this one. And I got obviously the normal caramel stuff, but I got your burnt toast right off the bat.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it's in there.
Here's our English guy.
That's there. That's there.
I get it. I'll give you that. I
can
pull that out.
That sweetness out of it.
Yeah, it's apples.
I get a lot of fall flavors.
Really?
I get some apple, but I get like cinnamon
some something too.
Yeah, cinnamon and caramel and nutmeg. Like a lot of like the heavier, deeper.
But that little charred, burnt something.
I get a little hint of that. I got you.
It's really on that burnt toast is really on the taste.
Is it?
Man.
How many gallons or liters did you say Mortlach can produce?
2.9 million a year.
2.9 billion liters.
That's a lot of liquid. A lot of liquid.
Wow, this is
interesting.
This is malty and toasted and
It's got a little bit of heat.
It's 40, 43.
Yeah, it shouldn't have much.
It's full.
It's got a nice flavor.
It's a full-bodied
It's
Scotch.
a full drink, right?
That burnt taste though, I like it.
I was gonna say you should like it.
Mmm.
I do get a lot of apple on it though too.
This is it's like toasted apple
Fruity.
crisp almost.
Almost marzipan.
What? See, I don't get that.
Jeez,
I don't
here we
get
go.
A little almondy.
It's
This is good.
It's got a little something sweet.
You know, I get a little bit
too.
of the sulfury. I hate to say,
I don't get any of that.
I get a little bit of it, but
Mark always.
I'm
So there's
sensitive
no
to
smoke,
that.
there's no peat, there's none of
No.
that heavy Isla, there's no brine. It's like roasted, it's apple, it's that, it's a very, it's got multiple things in there.
Yeah, no, it does. It's good.
Let that thing air out a little bit more. It doesn't say whether it's
Some water.
natural color or cold chill filtered.
The water kind of brings forward some of the malty flavors
Not yet.
that I like. It kind of rounds out everything a little bit.
This is a good everyday. I mean, $80 a bottle. It's a
Yeah,
little pricey.
15 years.
It's a
okay.
50. It's 15 years.
And
So
it's okay. G&M Mortlach. This is a thinker.
Andrew, you ready?
Mm.
You got a number? I'm thinking of a number
man.
between 0 and 4.
see, now it's getting a little bit. It's getting a little bit darker on the finish. I'm getting a little bit of dark
The
chocolate.
water
finish.
is excellent. I really like the water on it.
Keith's gonna tell you shouldn't be doing that under 46%.
The water rounds it out.
I think
It
it's
does.
a really
It
good.
takes out the heat.
The edge is
Takes out the
exactly
heat,
right. It's
brings
just
the
a nice
malt
rounded-
forward, leaves you with a nice sweet,
All right,
savory
2 little
finish.
drops.
It's good.
I really enjoy
You
it.
ready?
And
Go
the
ahead. Go ahead.
flavor-
No, I'm still thinking that's
I am too.
The
So
What do you
flavor
think
lingers
of
a
the
little
water,
bit.
Mark? Have you had it yet?
Yeah, I just put 2 small drops.
You don't want to put a lot. I don't think.
Good.
Just a couple drops.
All right,
I don't know. I hit it.
I'll start.
It was
start.
hit it still good.
I know
What do you got?
my number's still formulating, so I'm going to talk through what I like and what I don't like about it. Again, not my wheelhouse, but that's all right. What I do is I can pull out different flavors in it, which is nice. A little water takes out any heat. I didn't have a whole lot of heat in it. I think there was enough age in it that it's kind of pulled some of that astringent out. I like the apples on the nose, the toast, the malt. I'm going to give this probably a 2.5. And it's a little pricey.
Right.
I will say for a Scotch like this, it's pretty well balanced. I do like that, but it doesn't have a lot of the more forward flavors that I like. But for what they're trying to get to, I can see why this is a good make for Johnny Walker, because it's really kind of a neutral. It's not trying to shoot out of the park there. It's a good neutral spirit with some good.
The original Mortlach.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the
Like
original
good-
one, not the Gordon
Not the
Macphail.
Well, they're
Still
oaking
the
is
same
different.
new make, though, yeah.
Their casing is different, but yeah. So I'm going to give it a 2.5 because it's really a fairly good just base Scotch. It's not gonna hurt you. It's not gonna scare you off. But it does have enough complexity to give it 2.5.
What was our price point again?
$80.
Yeah, that's
So it's a little up.
That's where I'm starting right now. I'm listening to you saying you're exactly right. I'm starting with $80 for 15 years. I know what I can get it for an 18-year here and there. It's a little different. I think it's right in there. I think it's worthy of $80. I would say.
Okay.
I want to go. I want to go 3 with this, guys, but I'm thinking I'm gonna go 2.5. I think it's because of the $80. I think it's. Gosh, I may come back to it, but I'll tell you what I do like about it. The nose is really fruity. The apples I got earlier. That burnt smell, you said my
Toast,
parents
yeah.
are from England, so I grew up eating toast, eggs on toast, beans on toast, everything's on toast.
It's burnt
So,
toast, not just
it
toast.
doesn't matter, it's toast. And so
And some kind of protein.
it obviously resonates with me and my palate. So I really enjoy it. It's got it was a little hot at first, but that water really, like you said, it smoothed the edges out. Really enjoyable dram. It's fantastic. I'm actually going to go 3 with this one. I talked myself into it. It's a really good dram.
All right.
So I found this Scotch very enjoyable. It's
Imagine
You sound
that.
surprised.
it doesn't. Well, I wasn't sure what to expect because we've never tried a Mortlach before.
Correct.
And
And we still only half tried it.
yeah, exactly.
That's true.
But it had a lot of good flavors. Nothing off-putting about it at all. The nose was good.
Better get some
It
breeze
held
on
up to water. The water brought forward a lot of the malty characteristics that I kind of like. and it rounded out the flavors really well. I didn't lose anything by putting the water in at all. It had some nice, I didn't get as much of the toast as you did, but I got a lot of the cinnamon and nutmeg and caramel and apples, and it was just a real nice blending. Nothing overpowered. Yeah, beat that, right?
How about that?
But everything blended very well. There was nothing crazy. The finish was about a medium finish. It wasn't crazy, but it did last for a little bit. It gave you a little something.
Sure.
The $80 price point, it's a little up there. I mean, there's a lot of other scotches you can get in the $80 price point, but this is a pretty good glass.
Yep.
I think I'm going to give it a 2.5. I give it a high 2.5. I was kind of waffling between a 2.5 and a 3 because it really is a nice glass. But I think I'm going to go with 2.5 and we'll stick with that.
All right.
It's getting even better here, sitting here. So I mean,
it's a nice glass of scotch, no doubt about it.
That nose.
I like the neat, and I like it with the water. And I'll tell you what I like about both. And neat, I thought the flavors were a little bit stronger, and there were a little bit more in there as far as flavors, different flavors. A little bit of cinnamon, that little bit of apple. The water did smooth it out, though, rounded it, like you said. It wasn't as edgy. So I liked them both ways. It held the water fine. It didn't change the flavors per se.
Right.
It just mellowed them out a little bit. I gotta knock it on the nose, and that's just because I'm so stinking sensitive to that rubbery, sulfury, you know.
Yeah,
Geez, you pour a bottle of Macallan, and I mean, that's all I can smell. And I usually can pull it out of some other scotches, and I get a little bit of that in this, and so I knock it for that. $80. I'm not going to beat it up for $80.
No, I think it's worth $80.
I think it's worth it, and I think it's an interesting dram because it's a different. I mean, it's a Mortlach that was taken care of by a completely different company.
Yep.
now, what's the
And that's
normal Mortlach go for?
Well, they didn't have
They
Mortlach
didn't.
15.
So that was the thing. We were. That was where I was saying that the Mortlach, what they call rare old,
Yeah.
which is non-aged,
Right.
It's real old,
And
3
it's-
years.
and it was $20 or $30 more for this 15-year-old.
So we don't know yet.
We
But I'm
don't know.
assuming 100 maybe.
And I think we're going to do our best to try to hold on to this and find a regular Mortlach 15, and then give
that's
you guys
a
a
good
idea.
comparison.
Yeah,
I'm
that'd be
sure
good.
that's
That's
down
way
the
to
road.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 2.5, and I wavered back and forth between 2.5 and 3, and finally when it's all said and done, the nose, I'm just going to stick with the 2.5. I'm glad we have it. I'm glad
Absolutely.
we finally crossed that bridge.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be afraid to reach out to Gordon and Macphail's or some of the other independent bottlers, just to see what they're doing.
It's a good first step for us.
Yep.
But we're going to
First
hang on to
impression.
this and do a comparison down the road, I'm sure. So I got a 2.5.
We're
Down the horn.
pretty
Horn.
even, really. I might went a little higher because of the toast for
Three.
me, but I mean,
2.5.
So
So I think we're right where we need to be.
2.6,
Yeah.
2.6,
yeah,
2.6,
it's
yeah.
very
Yeah.
hard to scotch.
Gordon and Macphail Mortlach 15, 2.6 or so.
Yep.
Not
Enjoy
bad.
it. It's good.
Hey, notice the new bar, Andrew's Place.
Yeah?
We're on location.
Yeah. Thanks for having
Hey,
us.
thanks
buddy.
for watching.
Thanks for
Remember to
watching, you
subscribe
guys.
and like our videos.
Yes,
Absolutely.
and
Check us on
comment.
Facebook.
Hey Scotch lovers, thanks for watching.
Join in the conversation.
More videos below. And hit subscribe before you go so you can get the new videos when they come out.
Sláinte.
Cheers.